I knew it. After all this time, Xcode has been stitching me up, making me do things wrong. And now I can prove it. So in this little demo app, which is just displaying some letters on a UI table view, I've created my own subclass cell, so I've created my own label here. And there's no tricks going on here. I've just created an outlet for my label. So this is often done through the storyboard, through the nib file, sorry. We just whack that there, for example. And if you wanted to create an outlet, you'd go to the assistant editor, press Control, and you create the outlet. Just call it anything, and it's always a weak var. So, why is that bad? It doesn't seem like it's anything which would be tricky to understand at all. Because we're creating our view controller, we've got our data here, we're registering our cell, and here we're setting our text. Now the problem is that outlet is public. Well, sorry, it's internal. So that means it's externally accessible from the cell. So we could do something silly, which just kind of rams home the point that I can, after some time, still access that outlet and change the text. So that means if I had a reference to that cell, then I could change that label. So if you have other programmers working with you, or perhaps yourself later, you're not guaranteeing how that outlet's going to be used. It's public, that's awful, you shouldn't be doing that. Your solution is to not do as Xcode suggests, and with your table view cell, you should make this private. This gives us, however, a problem. It means our view controller can no longer see. So what do you need to do? You need to adjust your text from within the cell. And one way of doing that is by creating a public function which would configure. In fact, it doesn't have to be public here, it can just be internal. And we take the text, which is going to be a string, and my label.text will be that text. Then from our view controller, we can access that and it's going to be from our data as before. But this time, the only way to access the cell is through this configure method. So you have a clear API. So we're going to configure the cell, and often you'd pass in a view model in this configure method. Equivalently, nothing has changed, but you're controlling the API. And let's have a look. There's another outlet here. So outside view controller, this would be visible. So how do you solve that? You can make it private. And since we're not doing anything from outside this class, then it compiles fine and we can run. So the idea is to create your own API and not do as Xcode suggests in this particular case. So there you go. Don't believe everything you're told, even if it's by Xcode, and don't believe everything you're told, even if it's by me. That means do use private outlets and like and subscribe.